What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one, and I just watched a movie called Avatar: The Way of Water, starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and Britton Dalton. That's a pretty cool name. I like unique names that are not dumb. All right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. First of all, let's do a little recap, a character recap on Avatar 1, which was like 13 damn years ago. We're going to get into that a little later on too, man. Right now, it's a character recap. Because first we had Jake Sully. All right, he's the lead character of the movie. Obviously, you know, he came in there with his troops, you know, his soldiers. He had the little leg problem going on there. All right, so we knew from the get-go this is the main focus of the movie. Came in there, fell in love with the tribal woman. All right, became one of them, not only physically but spiritually. Okay. So that we know what he did. We know what Jake did. Then there's Neytiri. I got that right, man. She was the one he fell in love with, right? She's the one that she at times had a very bad, nasty attitude. Just a bad attitude. She was very hostile. She's hostile. I noticed that about her through this and through part two. She's a very hostile person. You know, so, you know, respect her gangster. Respect her gangster, man. All right. Then there was Dr. Grace, all right, played by Sigourney Weaver, what they call the queen of sci-fi right now. She was one of the doctors, who became a very important part of the movie throughout. And spoiler alert, if you have never seen the movie before, skip to the next character right now. At the end of the movie, she passes away, but then the land takes her body and soul and harvests it. Okay. All right. Spoiler over. All right. Then there's Sute. Sute was what they would call the hater. There's always, every time someone who's not of the native land comes to this land and they're the lead character and they, of course, they fall in love with the girl of that land. There's always a guy that was meant to date her first, or was her boyfriend, or a guy who also liked her that was on that native land. And when that new guy comes in, he starts hating. Because now we got two dogs barking at each other, all right. And of course, he's gonna start getting jealous. You know, he was that guy until the end, where he decided to help out his so-called enemy. He helped him out. You know, there's a recurring theme with that. You'll see. Then, last but not least, there's Colonel QUARITCH, which was of course the villain in part one. All right, this guy didn't give a damn. You know, he's there to kill some Na'vi and take over that land, take over that whole planet, Pandora. You know, more space for Earth to use somebody else's planet. All right, who cares in his mind? And he was a very interesting villain, even though it was P-13. He might be better than some villains that were in rated R movies. You know, more raw movies than this. Interesting. And then we get into the fate over the years of this movie. All right. For one thing, this movie did not age well. It didn't age well. When I watched it the first time when I was younger, it was cool because we were not used to CGI like this. This was a breakthrough. It was a game changer back in the day. Not a lot of movies were doing this. And so that's what pulled us in. We've never seen anything like this. But over the years passed, more movies are made like this, and it was ran into the ground. And we're used to this now. We're all used, even the youngsters who haven't seen it, they've seen other movies like this, so they don't see the big deal. They don't see the big deal, and I understand, I can understand that. And also, it was so long that when you have a long movie like this, you have to give us something from the beginning, the middle, to the end. All right. And sometimes it would drift off. And it wouldn't hold on strong. And when you have a 3-hour, 2-hour movie, you got to do that like Infinity Wars and Endgame. They held us through. They held us through. All right. And now we have part two. We have part two. We have the Way of Water. My question is, will this movie, will part two rebirth the franchise? Will it help out? Did he waste his time? It was so many years that he took, 13 years for this new one. Did he wait too long? I believe he did, in the fact of, this new generation doesn't care. It's been so long. You have a whole new generation out there, and they don't care about the Avatar 1. So how can they care about part 2? We're about to find out. Let's go. Avatar: The Way of Water, part 2. In other words, Avatar part 2. All right. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you're not aware of this movie by now, despite the million times it's been thrown in your face every time you go see another movie, you're on some kind of new planet right now, running around with 4 fingers and a tail and blue skin, because you don't know what the hell's going on Earth. Obviously. All right. You don't know what's going on back on Earth. All right. Don't play me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Seriously. Avatar: The Way of Water. It's pretty much about what's been going on in the lives of Jake Sully and Nate Theory. All right. Well, since we know them 13 years ago, they've now grown a family. They have 2 sons. All right. 2 older sons. They have an adopted daughter from the womb of Dr. Grace. Okay. They also have a little daughter. Okay. They have a little girl as well. So they have a pretty much a little family going on here. All right. Everything is cool. Everything is calm. They have nothing to worry about. All right. Then, of course, all of a sudden, the sky people, as they call them, they come back again. They come back after 13 freaking years, maybe longer than that. Some of those kids don't seem a little older than 13. But yeah, after all those years, 20 years, let's say 20 years, maybe. And they want to ravage the land again. They come back. They've come back to do the project over. Let's get it done. Let's go. All right. So because they know that they're looking for Jake Sully and his family, they already know what's up. They're out for, these people are still out for blood. They have to get up and they got to go to a new island, a new part of Pandora that was never introduced in part 1. It's the sea people, the water people. Okay. I forgot their exact names, but they have to earn their trust and everything to be able to hide in their land, which is something I'll get into later on as well. They have to hide on their land, become one of them now, a whole new kind of level of Na'vi, in my opinion. But yet they are still met with hardships and strife, okay, throughout the movie, and things they still have to, in the end, prove that they are a strong, tight-knit family. All right. And that's pretty much the premise of the movie. Positives. Despite us being used to CGI like this, I still have to say this had some breathtaking CGI in the film. I felt like it was a breath of fresh air. Like it was like, oh, I'm seeing this for the first time again. The CGI, the special effects, I don't say graphics. It's always like it's referring to a video game when I say that. But you know what I'm saying. Okay, the look, the visuals, okay, everything was just solid. It was solid, man. And it felt like it was a little better and touched up. Of course, they had all these years to upgrade the game. And so it looked better to me than part one. It looked better. And then you mix that with the action, which, in my opinion, also got better. Also, the action scenes were more gritty. They were more to it. They were more to it, man. There was a little more violence. They pushed that envelope, even though it's a PG-13 movie. They pushed that envelope with the violence. The last fight scene was A-OK. It was awesome. There were like 2 sub-level fight scenes to the last, and it was cool. I enjoyed all of that. That was highly entertaining, I have to admit. Okay, so that part, kudos. I want to give kudos to that. Then there was the family dynamic. As you know, in the first one, there was just Natiri and Jake, right? And so you didn't get a lot of a strong bond only between those 2 people. All right. It didn't feel like the family was an extended family to love and care for. But in this one, you get a whole family. All right. And I think that made the movie better. You have a new additions to the screen. You have new characters easily with this family. You have the older brother, which was, I forgot his name. These names they almost sound like African names. I can say that I'm black. Okay, I can say that. All right, they sound like African names. You can say if you're not black, but because they do sound like African names. All right, and so I can't remember the first one's name. All right, but it's at that bottom of the screen. He was a lot like his mother. Didn't take any crap. He was straight to it. He wasn't for the games. Then there's Look, which was one of the main focused characters of the younger brother. All right. He's a lot like the father, curious, wanting to find things out, always into something. All right. Always trying to dig into something, getting into trouble along the way. A little more than his father did. Okay. He was very hard-headed character, like his father. All right. Then there was the adopted daughter who came from the womb of Dr. Grace. And I'm not even going to explain all that. That is something that you have to see the movie for to even figure out how that transpired. Okay. But she is the adopted daughter, and there's something special about her. There's something special about her character throughout the movie. You have to see that as well. She's in touch with nature on another level. Let's put it like that. She's in touch with something on another level. She can see things. Okay. And then they have the little girl. I don't know her name either. It's hard to pronounce. But she's the innocent one. She's the one she's kind of along for the ride. All right, she's along for the ride. So this whole dynamic just works. It works. I like it. I love it. It was a good addition to this movie. Another positive, the introduction of the new tribe. And I cannot remember their name. I'm going to be honest. I can't remember the name of that tribe. They are the Water Tribe. This is why the title is the title that it is. Okay. When they get to their land, these people have they have different tails. They have their skin is lighter blue. They have tribal marks on them, not of like how the Na'vi have. They see these people coming in. They think their tails are puny. They're on a whole other level. They're on some different stuff. They're not on the same stuff that the Na'vi is on. they're a little cooler, and because they're more in touch with the water. All right, and you have to learn a whole new way to ride their creatures. All right, these are underwater things, so Na'vi they can't breathe in the water like these people do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole new thing to learn. The whole family has to learn that. Okay, so it's not just one. You can't just make fun of one for not knowing. They all don't know. They all don't know. Okay, they can't front. They all don't know how to do this. And so it's brand new territory for them with this new tribe. Okay. And I like the addition. I like the addition of that. Okay. I like how that was done. Last positive. The villain twist. Of course, I can't say too much. I can't say too much about this, but I will say this. You'll never guess how this plays out. You'll never guess what they're going to do, what new threat they're going to bring to you. You're not going to guess it, man. The way it's introduced, it's like, hold on, when I first realized what was going on, I was like, hold on, what's going on? I was baffled. I was like, is this happening? So this is what's going on? Oh, no, that's different. That's different. I haven't seen it done in this way in any other movie. Maybe close, of course, a whole bunch of times in other ways, but not in this exact way. All right, and it was just right for this movie. And I was wondering what's gonna come of this, and I kind of knew some things that were gonna go down because now it's different. It's a very different outlook on this. It's a very different direction to go. And so I was like, I know what might happen. All right. Very good. Very good. Negatives. They spent too much time on a particular sea creature in the movie. I must say that there's a creature, and his name will be at the bottom. It's like a whale, and on Earth, it's like whales on Earth. All right, and they were thought to be killers and dangerous, and of course, Loak has to go out there and see if they're not. They have to see what's going on and become friends with this thing. And Loak finds out this is not a killer. This is not a killer. All right. Despite all that and whatever, it was not needed. It was not needed. All that long exposition and all that, not needed in the movie. It was such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. You could have done other things within the movie to make it interesting within that moment. That would have pulled me in, honestly. Another negative. Loak was a huge liability. I said he was hard-headed. He was truly hard-headed, okay? He got into everything. She was jumping in the creature's mouths, just trusting everybody, trusting everything. Dumb. You just had a fight with these kids. Now you want to go listen to what they got. They want to show you something. It's not over, bro. It's not over. You want to do all this? Come on, bro. What are you doing? It was irritating. That was irritating. Very irritating. And he just became the butt end of this movie. All right. Last positive. The villain was handled poorly. Put it like that. The villain was handled so poorly to the point or the fact that it made me wonder, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you end it this way? Why must we see this end in the way that you made it end? I can't say too much. I'm giving away, but I was disappointed with the ending. All right, and how the villain was treated, and the conclusion of the villain was not neat. It was not something that should have went down the way it went down. And for that, I'm still giving this an I cool. Yes, an I cool. Look, honestly, honestly, this was better than part one. Still some things they could have worked out, but it was a lot better than part one. Press that like button, share, you better subscribe.